Okay, I have just recently got back from a trip that I took to Tennessee to look for the Appalachian Footpath Box, and want to share my solve, or at least what I think is my solve, with other people so they may have an opportunity to go search this area. I'm going to start by going to one of the maps, overhead view, and I'm going to zoom in to where I think it all begins. And here we have an area that's just above Asheville, as you can see, and it resembles the area up on John Collins Black's map. He actually says not to judge it too harshly, so we're not judging it too harshly. I came over here and I found this spot, and I zoomed in on it and noticed that it was a little area called Big Bald, or the Bald Mountains. And from there, I kind of followed the trail along. To this area of the map. And I noticed that this looks a lot like the map that's drawn. If you zoom in here, you've got a place called Pleasant Garden, which I think the butterflies in the map, in this location, it's consistent with the map. And then you have a dog that would be somewhat right here. And beside that dog it says "Go fetch." And it shows a magnifying glass right here in this area. So if we magnify this area, we come to a place called Big Ball. Of course, that's what a dog would go fetch. So I followed the trail along, all along this path. I came down here where you see the apples, and I noticed that there was a town that's also corresponds on the map, and it's called Bakersville. I notice also that this little print right here also looks pretty genuine with the map. And Roan Mountain would be right here where the scroll's at. And if I'm not mistaken, roan is a type of animal skin. And back in the early days, I think that they probably used that to make scrolls out of, but I am uncertain. So I followed everything up here and noticed that it has the same shape. Even these two little humps right here and this area that goes around up by this lake. Now if you'll notice, there's a place right here, it's called Bear Stand. And in correspondence with the map, it's about in the same location. There's also, right in this area, a Black Bear Resort. And there's an area of a little waterway that runs through here that has a lot of stones, and they go downhill. That's where I stayed, Black Bear Resort, when I was up in this part of Tennessee during my search. So if you follow this around and up here, you come out to this lake. And this would be about where your X is on the map. And right down here is Highway 321. That's what this yellow line is. So if you turn your 1721 northeast upside down and you look at it, the three numbers you get are 321. I don't know if that's relevant but this is definitely Highway 321. It's something to take into account or factor in. So my guess and my solve, because this is up along the Appalachian Trail, is that this part of the trailhead is roughly probably between 4 and 5 miles, and it leads up to Watauga Lake Dam, which is right here. I think that the treasure is in this area, and I believe the people that are in Vermont looking at Little Rock Pond are mistaken. I think that's where your red herring comes into play. When you walk down this trail and you look at the mountains in the distance, it says that all about you is beauty. This is one of the most breathtaking, stunning areas that I have seen. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you haven't been there, you need to try and make your way there just to check it out. It's my guess that this is the area where it's at, and I'm going to show you a different map real quick. I'm going to X out of this, and I'm going to take you to Google Earth. And this is an overhead view. There is a parking lot that is right here beside Highway 321. And that's a good place to park in order to make your way around the Appalachian Trail up along this area. Also, when we zoom out, you can see the area, like the area on the map that kind of hooks around. And if you'll notice, right here is Black Bear Resort. And if we zoom in to Black Bear Resort very slowly, wait, let's see, I missed it. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. Black Bear Resort's over here. You zoom into Black Bear Resort, you notice all these rocks and this waterway. So I think that that black bear with the rocks is pointing you in this direction. And by the way, I stayed in this resort. If you go there, the people there are awesome. You should really check it out. Beautiful place to stay. Call in advance and make a reservation. Very windy road to get there. Anyhow. Alright, so I'm going to back out. And as you can see, Black Bear Resort's here. This is the Appalachian Trail. It leads up and around, and you can notice this area on the map. And it comes out to Shook Branch at Watauga Lake. From this area to this area, I believe, is where it's going to be found, the treasure. And let's see. I'll bring this one up. Here again, you can see that as we come in, Asheville is here. It says in the book that he had relatively close access to the trail. So if Asheville is here, this is relatively close access. And I saw in an interview where he mentioned that his babysitter used to drive him up and let him, kind of check the place out. So I believe this is where we're looking. and it does have similar characteristics to the drawing that he says not to judge too harshly. Also, in the book, if you notice, the man who built the boxes, Seth Gould, he was from Bakersville, which would be right here. And like I said, I think the apples in the map represent Bakersville. So, if you zoom in, Big Ball would be right here. Pleasant Garden there, where you see the butterflies. The Big Bald Mountains are down here, and all of it seems to fall in place. And it all makes sense. Whereas to me, the Vermont location, it's just not hitting home. And Wautuga Lake is absolutely beautiful. A lot of places to search. And my recommendation and suggestion is that anybody and everybody that gets the opportunity to go look in this location, go take a look. I feel as though, especially after being there, I feel as though when it's found, it's going to be found in this location.